G'day guys, Corey here from Designs by FR, and today we're teaming up with XPG to bring you guys an XPG themed water-cooled PC. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button for me and let's get into it. Today we are partnering up with Wondershare Recoverer, who actually managed to save one of our video files during a storm 2 years ago, so I cannot recommend them enough. Simply go to Wondershare Recoverer, linked in the video description. There are 3 versions: Windows, Mac, and free. For the free version, anyone can download this and recover files up to 100 megabytes. Here is how you recover lost data. Select the disk to be scanned, files will automatically be found. All you have to do is select the file you'd like to recover. In my example, I was able to recover a BIOS update for our Z690 motherboard. There is an advanced video recovery section which can recover all the way up to 8K footage. We managed to recover a painting segment for our tank PC. The corrupt video repair section is what saved us 2 years ago. I had an important project due to go live, and in the middle of working on the file, we had a power go out because of lightning, and it corrupted the file. Wondershare Recoverer repaired that video. I encourage you guys to go and check out Wondershare Recoverer and try it out for free before purchasing a plan. Wondershare Recoverer is also offering 1 viewer, 1 advanced license to anyone who downloads the software and comments down below what data will they be recovering. I'll leave the link in the video description. The XPG Cruiser, a compact mid-tower case with tempered glass side panel, 3 ARGB fans, and support for vertical mounted GPUs. This is the case we're going to be using today. I like how different the front is compared to the most cases, so let's see if we can turn this case into a one-of-a-kind piece of art. As much as I would have loved to have gone with 12th gen, all of those CPUs are used up for other projects. So I think it's only appropriate that we say goodbye to a legend of a motherboard, which is the Asus Extreme Glacial. This has to be one of the best looking motherboards that we've ever built with, and hopefully we can get our hands on a 12th gen Glacial. Our CPU of choice is the Intel Core i9 11900K with 8 cores and 16 threads. This is still a fantastic CPU, however with Ryzen 9 and Intel 12th gen, it is not the best that money can buy. But this is only a display system and we need something good to go with our Glacial motherboard. We are super excited to be using these RAM sticks today. These are the XPG Spectrix D45G, and we have a total of 32 gigabytes running at 3600 megahertz. Yes, this is DDR4 as we are still on the 11th gen platform. I like to try and use any extra features that products offer, especially if it can add to a build's aesthetics. This particular item is a NVMe expansion card. There's really no other reason why I'm using this other than I think it looks cool. If you were just after performance, you would just plug the NVMe slot into a Gen 4 slot in the motherboard. Storage wise, we have 1TB of XPG Spectrix S20G. However, we are going to have to remove the RGB heatsink. The reason why is we want to still use the motherboard armor, and if we put it in the expansion card as well, it won't be able to close with the heatsink on it. Unfortunately, after many attempts and using the heat gun, this RGB heatsink was so stubborn and would not come off. It is using some pretty good adhesive, so we had to swap out the storage. Storage-wise, we had planned to use the XPG Spectrix S20G, however it has an RGB heatsink on it, which I did not want to remove, so I ended up going with an easier option so that I could keep using the motherboard armor and the expansion card. As much as the case already had 3 fans, we like to keep things the same, so we removed the pre-installed fans and installed 6 of the Lee SL120 Unifans. These fans have a lock-in system which provides lighting and power with a single RGB and power cable. The case has support for a 360mm radiator at the front and a 280mm radiator at the top. However, I went with a 240mm radiator. These are the EK radiators, which are their thinner versions. This case would not support much thicker. I decided to go with our Asus Strix RTX 3080 GPU. The RTX 3080 is a great high-end GPU and will pair up nicely with our 11900K. This GPU is also going to be water cooled, so we'll be pulling off the stock cooler and putting it under liquid. To put this card under liquid, we'll be utilizing the EK Waterblock's Quantum Vector GPU block. This particular block is the nickel plexi, which will allow us to see the liquid flowing through inside, and we can also show off some RGB lighting. This next product is the EK Quantum Vector GPU active backplate. Typically, you don't really need it for this card, apart from maybe an RTX 3090 because of the hardware located on the back. However, we like to make things look as good as we can. This adds another visual element for the liquid cooling and also another lighting spot to highlight the upper half of the case. This was a very frustrating moment. I prepared the card for some time and it takes up a very large portion of this case, leaving no room for a reservoir. The case is not very water cooling friendly if you have a full-size GPU. I was lucky that I had a smaller card on hand to swap it out with. XPG sent over their prime ARGB cables to try out. I'm usually not a fan of RGB cables, however I was keen to give these ones a try. My first impressions were not too positive. The 24-pin connector does not fit through the grommet hole. I had to force it in. And the second issue is that the 24-pin on the motherboard will only take the RGB cable in with the underside facing forward. The RGB section of the cables cannot be disconnected and mounted on the opposite side, meaning that these cables were unusable. We faced the exact same issue with the GPU cables as well. If both sides were RGB, or you could take the RGB section off and apply it to the opposite side, it would work with everything. Changing out the GPU from a 3080 to a 3090 had me a little worried about the 750 watts for the power supply. However, we only needed the PC on idle as it is a display PC. That means that the XPG Core Reactor 750 watt power supply would be perfect for the job. Even with the GPU swap out and thin radiators, I still had little room to work with, so we went with a small EK Quantum Kinetic DDC combo unit. For the customization, I wanted to create an XPG themed panel for the power supply shroud area. I used a sheet of acrylic on the laser cutter to cut out the power supply panel, leaving a viewing hole for the XPG power supply itself. I also cut out XPG's logo for the panel. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the build. I'll leave all of the specs in the video description for you guys to go and check out. And a big thank you to XPG once again for teaming up with us to bring you guys a custom water-cooled XPG themed PC. Guys, consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoy content like this. And if you want to see more, consider checking out more videos on the channel. If you want to further support us, Patreon or YouTube channel membership links are in the video description. And it really helps us out to afford materials for the PCs like the one you just watched. Let us know in the comments below what you liked about this build and what you didn't like about this build, and we'll see you all in the next one.